I mean, every time you go off-road, you're going to see beautiful stuff, which is one of the main reasons that I do this. But this was our first true expedition of Stargate Adventure. Originally, we had 3 people who were going to come with because, I'm giving away. For this first month, I am giving away trips, and then I've decided that I'm going to lower the price, and for the next few months, the price will be really low, and because I just want to experience it and get really good at this whole retreat thing. It is a retreat in motion, and so it is specifically designed to relax you, to rejuvenate you, to help you peel off the stress from day-to-day life, like just to forget it. And even be able to work on things, to decide what is it that you want to leave in the desert, before you go back to your real life. When you go back to your regular day-to-day, how do you want that to be different? How do you want it to be better evolved as a result of your time in the desert? And we can do that. So, yeah. I originally had 3 people who were coming with me. One of them is going to come later at a different time. I guess all 3 are going to come at a different time because what ended up happening is one pre-decided that she was going to come later. 2 were still going to come. Like a few days late before we were going to go, one let me know that she had a bad medical thing and is in line for brain surgery. It's like, that's huge, huge. Okay. And then the other one, the night before we were supposed to go, something about, I don't know what she was drinking. I don't know where she was doing the karaoke. And her car got towed. And her car is her Jeep that she was going to use. And so, yeah, that happened. So anyway, it was going to be just me and one of the mechanics, Adam. And I'm not sure as I speak. When you see this, I don't know if Adam is still going to be one of our mechanics. I hope so. But he really kind of got clear on what Stargate Adventure is. And for a lot of people who are not into spirituality, metaphysics, sound baths, meditation, and stuff like that, they don't get it, And as much as I had explained to him what this was, he was still looking for some rock crawling action, and my promise on this is that there are no rock crawling moments. There's no extreme sports to this. There's no, it's not about that. Yes, we're on dirt roads, but this is a retreat. It genuinely is a retreat, and all the trails are, easy, and at worst, for a split second, moderate. Moderate to get back to the easy again, but no difficult, okay? That's that. And I get to each his own. We may have some inclines and some declines to do that could freak out a new beginner. But I guarantee you, I'm not going to pick those routes if I know you can't do it. Okay? Okay. So here we are. We start at Jawbone Station, which is north of Mojave. And I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. Adam was on time. I got there about 8:45. There goes Adam in his side-by-side, and we are going to name his side-by-side. I didn't mean to be late. Normally, I will get to the area of where we're going to start the night before for this very reason, but I was just overwhelmed with, do I have everything? Do I have everything? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And yeah, so 8:45, but anyway, got there. And I aired down my tires and did everything I needed to do to get going. Adam had towed his side-by-side in on a trailer behind a Suburban. And what we learned from this is that that vehicle and that whole situation is not really conducive for what we do. Because for one thing, the Stargate Adventures will start somewhere, but they may not end where they start. And I love that. You're going to end, somewhere else, which is part of what I do in the planning the route ahead of time. Also, boy, his vehicles used a lot of gas. His Suburban, while towing the side-by-side, was doing 4.5 miles to the gallon. That was not a typo. Look. Yeah, he flashed that photo to me, and I'm like, oh my God. My Jeep, to me, is bad gas mileage. While I'm doing really, really hard stuff out on the dirt, and I'm in like 4 low, and I'm in first gear, and I'm like, doing like really intense stuff, I'm getting about 9 miles to the gallon. And then normally I'm about 12, 13 miles to the gallon out there on the dirt. So, yeah, yeah. And I got great big fat mud tires and stuff. So I'm like, wow. So we would have to come up with another plan for a vehicle for him. That is, provided he wants to still do this. I want you to know that we had an absolute blast. So the way that this ends at the end of the trip kind of surprised me because we had a blast. We start, we get about, oh, no, we start at the Blue Mountain, and that's what I do in this area. Whenever we do this particular area, Jawbone Canyon, we're going to start at the Blue Mountain. It's blue because of all the copper in it, and copper is an amazing mineral. So much wonderful energy that you can get from it. So we absorb that. As a Reiki master teacher, I showed Adam, who is very not into this sort of thing, how to use his hands and his mind and thought and intention to absorb the energy from the copper, and then to get from that energy specifically what you need and want to help you as you go forward. And it's a wonderful element to use on a retreat, and especially at the beginning of a retreat. Was amazing, and we realize now that we can camp over there by the Blue Mountain. That's going to be awesome. We did that, and that felt great. It's such an amazing way to start your journey. So then we get back on the road. 3.5 hours into our journey, Adam tells me he's only got half a tank left in his side-by-side. I'm like, oh my gosh. We're about... Looking at the map, it looks like 2/3 of the way. No, I'm sorry, 1/3 of the way around. 1/3. My intention was that we were going to go and go and go, and maybe another couple of few hours, find a spot, a great spot to camp, and then the next day continue on. The other reason that this is important is when I am really bringing guests with me, I am also getting a permit through the Bureau of Land Management or whoever is governing that chunk of land that we're going to be on. And sometimes when we take these trips, we're going to go federal land, public land, Bureau of Land Management. We're going to travel across different jurisdictions of land. And I'll need to handle the permit with each of those governing bodies. And the thing that I like about this, I mean, granted, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but I've been running a valet parking service in Los Angeles for 20 years, and you can't overwhelm me with permits and stuff. There's just no way after what I've been doing all these years. So I'm like, bring it. And then I also like that they will be monitoring. Like, they're going to see, if I say we're going to camp here, and I'm going to give them the latitude and longitude, I'm going to give them the direct point of where we're going to be camping that evening. Now, if there are other campers there, that could happen. We're going to scoot over a little bit, but they know that we're going to be somewhere right in that general vicinity of the dot that I gave them. And I love that. And I think that my guests are going to love that, knowing that, they know where we are. I mean, we're out there in the middle of nowhere. And one of the things that I do find is a common worry for people who have not done much off-roading or camping and being out in the wild is fear. Fear that they can't pick up the phone and dial 911. Fear because they're not worried about animals. They're worried about other humans. Bad humans. And I also want to say on that note that part of what I do is I mean, and everybody can join in on this. It's an energy thing. I pray, I do Reiki, I do all kinds of energy work to hold our space in the highest light, so that it is by spirit protected. But it's also nice to me to know that I have a satellite phone and that these law enforcement folks know exactly where we are. Hell yeah, why not, right? Come join us. We're talking to aliens. And that's another thing. I hope that we'll get to see some UFO action in the skies. I personally have had that experience, and I want that for the groups who join me at Stargate Adventure. But it may take a minute, and I don't think anybody's going to get abducted or anything like that. I mean, some folks are really actually like scared of this part. One thing I like about that is that you are respecting that there is other life on other planets, and you're respecting that, if you got that fear. But I say fear not, and we are about attracting positive energy with our positive energy. So damn it, I'm 11 minutes in and I haven't really done anything. So we're rolling along. He doesn't have enough gas. We decide to turn around so that we'd be back closer to the gas station. We're going to go get some gas. And then we're going to camp at the Blue Mountain, which is near the beginning, right? But that's what we got to do. And I'm cool, going with the flow. I'd never camped at the Blue Mountain before. I'm excited to camp at the Blue Mountain. So we go back, we get the gas. We're on our way back now to the Blue Mountain to set up camp. It's afternoon, late afternoon. And one of the reasons that at Stargate Adventure, when you join the caravan, you're not supposed to go off and, stay on the established trails with the rest of the caravan, please. It's for moments like this. So Adam could not help it. He was just like, here I go. And I gotta tell you, he went and he did some really cool stuff with his side-by-side. And I didn't capture it on video. And I said to him after he came back on the street, I'm like, damn, I didn't get that. Do it again. So I send him to do it again. And this time he does it a little different. And at the end, uh-oh. So he's stuck, but I'm glad he's stuck. It's like he was doing an audition. He was auditioning for his mechanic position. And to be perfectly honest, he was nailing it left and right. One thing I didn't mention is that when he announced that he only had half a tank of gas, we turned around and headed back. And within a few minutes, I noticed that there was a clanking noise going on underneath my Rubicon. And I didn't know what it was. It was like clank, 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 like something was going to fall out on the trail. And I'm like, oh my God. Adam got under my vehicle. I meant to take a picture with his legs sticking out because I was just so impressed with him. No hesitation. Just get right under there. That's what I wanted. I'm like, yes. Okay, so that happened earlier. Now we get the gas. We're on the way back. He's playing around and he gets stuck. Well, luckily I've got a recovery strap. So I pull out the recovery strap and he doesn't have a hook on the front of his side-by-side. I don't think side-by-sides come with hooks. I think, you have to get those put on or something. But he does MacGyver how to connect the recovery strap to the front of the side-by-side. Now I'm going to pull this with my Jeep. I'm in the street. There's a blind curve to my left. There's a blind curve to my right. And I'm really not comfortable. Adam is a little bit agitated with me because I'm just like, I'm not liking this, Adam. I'm not liking this. And so he decides, take me back to the parking lot. I'll get my Suburban. I'll come and I'll pull it out my damn self. I'm like, okay. So I take him back. He gets it. And so now this happens. So I guess he's auditioning as a mechanic because the car is stuck and he's got to unstick it. Thing is, and I had said to him, yo, Adam, I think you need a shovel. He's like, no, I don't need a shovel. Stops. Okay, here we go. Oh no. Oh no. He needs a shovel. So I took my shovel and that's right. I am equipped. The only thing is my bad knee, or I would help him a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. I told you needed a shovel. I told you. Damn, girls are so smart. I'm glad he's here, though. Rescued. Yes.
Gotcha. We will move it.
Yes.
I'm going to put it right there.
All right.
Or right here.
All right. That made me nervous. I'm like, why would he do that again? Good job. Victory. So that part was really exciting to me. And I felt like this day, by the time we got to the end of it, I realized that this day was all about, you know, getting through some things, letting some things happen, learning from some mistakes. Spirit is awesome. I'm grateful that nobody came with us. And the other mechanic is coming with me later this month, October, the end of October. And we're going to go through, hopefully not the same exact things, but, you know, just keep growing with the flow, you know, and I really believe that after this next time, I will be completely 1000% ready. This was also my first time being first car and, you know, using my navigational devices to get us from one point to another. And I nailed that. There is an awesome place called Frog Creek that I absolutely adore. It's got like a lake, a miniature, like huge pond, so I want to call it a lake, and a stream, and there are frogs, and there are lily pads, and it's just beautiful. I have pictures of it on the website, but so I love it so much, and I wanted to, you know, show Adam where this was, and I found it on our map. I'm like, I found it. I got us there, which was amazing. Okay. So we set up camp at the Blue Mountain, okay, and it's starting to get close to sunset, like the sun is setting, and Adam needs to go and get a signal so he can text her, call his girlfriend, and let her know that he is okay. So I'm like, okay. Now his vehicle was being a little persnickety and not wanting to start ever since getting stuck in the sand. So he was having trouble getting it started. And then he went, I said, you know what? If you're not back in 30 minutes, I'm going to come get you. So he left. And it's almost like as he left, the sun said, oh, Adam's gone. Bye. It got dark so freaking fast. So fast. And I want to say that this part that happens next was so real and so happening that I didn't video. I was just in it. I was like, oh, shit. I wasn't paying attention for a while, for like, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Then I realized, wow, it's definitely been 30 minutes, and it had been more than 30 minutes. And it was dark, dark, dark. And I'm like, oh my God, where is he? How can he find me? How is he going to find me? Because we're away from the road against the mountain. But luckily we're not in a crevice or anything. We're like, road, bushes and sand and whatnot, mountain. And that's where we are. But it's dark. So I do see some lights, and I have the coolest. Have you ever seen one of these? Wait. Flashlight. Flashlight. These things are so bright, and I have several of them. And they also, magnet, clip it to something, or hang it with that. Oh my God. Love this thing. And I have several of them, and I purposely got into them and put new batteries in them before this trip. And I was so grateful I had this. So I got this thing in my hand. I see some headlights coming kind of sort of towards me down the road. So I'm like waving this thing so that, they can see. And I'm thinking they see because they're kind of coming towards me slow. And then they turn and they go down the road, and then they turn and they go back. And I'm like, but while they were coming towards me, I'm like, I'm waving it. But then I'm like, who am I waving that at? Am I waving this? Because there were other cars coming too. I'm like, am I waving this at the right person? Or is this about to be a really bad movie? Which, what is about to happen right here? And then it's taking him so long. I'm like, oh my God. Does his girlfriend realize that he has left me alone in the middle of the wilderness in the middle of the night by myself? I'm paying him to not do that. Oh my God. Okay, so, I'm like, I gotta go get him. Because and this is going to be my first time ever driving in the dark off-road. Yeah. And off-road, my car feels like something's about to fall out. Okay. First, I'm like, how are we going to see back here again? Because it's dark. So I get this. I turn this light on, and I put this under the top of his tent. The tent's got those like, I don't know what to call them, but it's part of the frame of the tent that, that keeps it, its structure. So at the very top, there was a space to squeeze this in there, aim it at the street, and put it on this. So it was like, bam, bright light. And then I took off. Now I got to find my way to the street and there was a little bit of a trail, but not really. And I needed to find that. I didn't really want to roll over all these bushes and stuff like that to get to the street. So I find my way. I get to the street and I'm like, that was huge. That was okay. And I was so grateful to be on the street because now my car's not making that crazy noise because it's nice and smooth. I'm like, okay, good. I drive a mile or so. I find Adam. Now we got to drive back and find the campsite. And he explained to me there were these folks that were set up across the street that were doing a target shooting thing. So he was using them as a landmark. But as he was coming back, they were leaving too. So he realized he didn't have his landmark anymore. Oh no. So he's like, oh, Gillian, please wave the thing. The walkies I had were not good. So we're going to use different ones next time. So I didn't hear his message, but I felt him because I'm intuitive and I am waving the thing, but he didn't see me. So now we're looking for the light on top of his tent as we're driving. And one of the things that was happening for him was that he wasn't going far enough. And how do we know that? Well, I got my Gaia maps. And so I'm like, oh, let me use the Gaia maps, because we couldn't figure out where's the blue mountain. It's dark as night. So I turn on Gaia Maps. He's like, use the filter. That was genius on his part, because I was just like, oh my God, what to do? What to do? I don't know. Where's the blue mountain? Where is it? I'm looking for it to say Blue Point. And so anyway, I put it on satellite, and made that the predominant filter layer on Gaia Maps. And everything is vibrant. And there's that blue mountain. It's like, oh, we just need to go up another half mile or so. So we did that, and all of a sudden, bam, there's this bright light coming from the mountain, and that was the top of his tent. So we turn and we go in, and we're there, and I'm like, wow. I was just feeling so good. And I'm like, Adam, we have had a lot of things go down today that we weren't expecting, but the way that we handled them were awesome. He's an awesome, off-road partner. He was great. I wanted the mechanics that I hired. I specifically interviewed them to make sure that they were better than me at off-roading, better than me at camping, I got the spiritual, metaphysical stuff down. I got you on that. All the retreat activities and what we're going to do, how we go about the meditations and, communications with folks here and other places. That's me. Okay. But the other stuff, I'm okay, thanks to 4x4training.com, which I keep talking about because they have made me amazing. If not for them, I wouldn't have had a recovery strap. If not for them, I wouldn't have known how to air down and air up my tires. And I thought about, the making of a bad movie. If I had just left and not put that light on top of the tent, so how we could find our way back. And then having the tools, the Gaia Maps, that was amazing, and knowing how to use it. And to tell you the truth, this whole navigational thing and learning how to read the maps and read the roads and prepare for a journey and pre scouting your route and stuff. That has been such a major learning curve for me, really big. And so this was a really great experience, and it gave me so much more confidence. And I'm so grateful to many of the veteran off-roaders who have helped me. Robert, David, Ron, you guys know who you are. Thank you so much for everything that you've taught me over this last year, especially Robert, oh my God. Oh, and David, oh my God, because David taught me Gaia Maps and also about the Garmin. I have a Garmin overlanding GPS device, which is kick frickin' ass. My dashboard is cool. Check it. I told you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Look. A cockpit. Just saying. So one of the things I learned is that we are going to start driving at 8 a.m. and we're going to camp. We're going to set up camp by 2 or 3 p.m. maximum. Because setting up camp closer to 5 or 6, I was exhausted. So exhausted that I didn't do a sound bath that night. I did watch the stars though. Oh my God. And I knew my camera would not capture, so I didn't. But I just want to say that the sky is so black, and then the stars are so bright. It's animated. I'm like, oh my God, So now it's about getting familiar. What's a satellite? What's a satellite look like? How does the satellite move? Okay, wait. That then is not a satellite, and doing all that kind of stuff. I'm excited about that. So the next morning, we woke up and kind of got going, and I did a sound bath in the morning. I realized it was Sunday morning, and I felt like I wanted to have a ceremony and just to be grateful to Spirit for letting me wake up in this amazing situation, the beautiful mountains and the everything. So I set up the bowls and thank you, Adam, for taking the footage. But so now we went a couple of days. Everything was fine. But then we got into some conversation, Adam and I, via text, where it became clear that he doesn't have much faith in a spiritual, metaphysical retreat in an off-road setting kind of thing. Off-roading, he loves that idea, off-roading, find some rocks and do that. But you know what? People do that. That's you can find that. You can't find this. This is different. This is special. And I know that it's one of a kind. Get your 4x4. It's easy enough that you can actually rent a 4x4 and be pretty confident you're not going to hurt it. I mean, you might get some scratches here and there, but nothing that can't be covered by the insurance. And follow me and enjoy yourself off-road in the wilderness of the desert. Man, it is so peaceful. It's not for everybody, and I feel like there's a reason that Adam bumped into this post and this possibility, and maybe he'll grow into it, but it isn't for everybody, so I certainly can't force anyone. But I was bummed, because otherwise he was frickin' perfect. The only thing was that he just is not feeling this meditation stuff and all the quiet time that's needed and stuff like that. To me, of all the journeys there are to take, the one within is the most profound. So that's my story. Oh my God, so much more to come. And I'm hoping that you could feel it from this thing here that I just done for you. I've just talked a lot and I have a lot of editing to do to put this together, but I love sharing my journeys, and there will be so much more from Stargate Adventure. I'm going to put below in the box information about how you can find us, how you can join us on a journey. If you're watching this soon, I mean, my caravans are small. I'm not doing any more than 6 or 7 cars. And that includes me and the mechanic. So no more than 5 cars in the middle. And so there's that. So it's kind of like first come, first reserved. And, but yeah, check out the website. And if you haven't subscribed here, please subscribe so that you can know when I do another one of these. And what else do I want to say? Oh, press the like button so that people who are interested in this topic who could benefit from it will actually get an opportunity to see it here. Thank you. Have a great day, and more soon. Ciao.